This part is unfortunately true. It was true back 8 years ago. It's still true today. You can do incredible things on your laptop. You can build great models. And then the reality of things is that if it has to go to the IT department, in most cases, it either is going to die, it's not priority, it takes forever to deploy. And it's not because IT hates technology. But let me explain this kind of a typical process. So it might take an organization a couple of months to figure out what they really want to do with AI. And then they might talk to someone who can do some model building. And they'll build them on the laptop. It might take, a couple, 2 to 3 months, something like that. And there's a lot of reasons why it takes that long, right? How do I get the data? Is there a data dictionary? There's never a data dictionary, but let's just pretend there's a data dictionary, right? They start to understand things. They talk to people. They try to figure out what the target is. What is the model target? What are the model inputs? What model inputs should I remove? Because if I don't, it makes the model cheat, allows the model to cheat. There's some sort of leakage that occurs there. Sometimes I can't build any model I want, just anyone I want. I have to build a model that's specific. If you're in healthcare, a lot of times there's a lot of intentionality around, I want models I can understand, like logistic regression maybe, because there's coefficients there. And I can explain it to the doctors and they can believe what we're doing. So all that stuff takes a lot of time. Then once you kind of get that built, giving it to IT, generally a lot of times, it's a Jupyter notebook, maybe it's a Python script that's given to IT. Maybe the IT department codes in Java. So now they're going to have to refactor your stuff from Python into Java. But maybe they don't really know anything about or have a very difficult time with numerical libraries in Java, which make it really difficult for what you were doing as a data scientist for your company. In the end, even if you do get past all those hurdles, which every one of those hurdles brings the bar down lower to the probability of success, it still takes a very significant amount of time. 9 months for a model seems like it doesn't happen, but I promise you it happens probably 7 out of 10 times, out there in the marketplace. This is something that I would recommend, right? This is the approach. Everything that we've talked about up to this point is allowing to happen. For example, being able to communicate well with your stakeholders about what it is that data science can do and not do, being able to convert a business problem into a data science problem. It shouldn't take 2 months. It really probably shouldn't take a month, but I'm trying to show that there's progress. And it's really important to have a lot of the leadership educated on what it is that is possible, so that they can start to reimagine the business. As somebody who's building models, if you have the automation in place from end to end, it's very easy, very likely to get a 1-day turnaround time. Most of the time, depending on the complexity of the models, you could certainly build models in an afternoon. And if you think about that, that's one of the biggest time advantages for Switchpoint, is that, if our competitors are doing the top line process and we're doing the bottom line process, you can see how we can get out in front of more opportunities and have more relationships. And a lot of the organizations that we work with, they are deeply interested in outsourcing innovation. And if as somebody who's worked on the inside of a corporate wall before, it's kind of offensive, right? To think about the fact that, your job is to innovate, you're carrying out things for the organization, and then they outsource innovation, or they form a partnership around innovation, because it makes me feel like maybe things aren't getting done. But there's a lot of blindness in organizations as it relates to these two different paths. The beautiful thing, the reason why we developed this process on the road less traveled, is because of the embedded app process. So for us, we don't ask somebody to convert anything over to Java. We don't ask them to remodel, monitor, or maintain the model. Our system allows us to be able to do that with just a click of a button. Again, it's all automated. So you can imagine you really going from like beginning to an end in a month versus 9 months. You can fail faster if that's what ends up happening. And because there's not 9 months of cost and time put into it, organizations are willing to go, okay, that was a good experiment. What did we learn from it? How do we improve? What do we do next? And so that is really how you can get the win back in your AI sales, is really having a deeper partnership with IT, a better partnership with IT, not asking them to do things that they don't normally do. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Certainly been a huge help.